I'm Jerry Geib with Minnesota Department of Transportation, work in our asphalt research section. Also along from Minnesota, our Paul Nolan. Paul works for me in asphalt research. There's 3 of us in our section, so we got 2/3 of the team here. Elliot Keys is our newer preventive maintenance engineer for MnDOT that also works in our building. Been there about 1.5 years. What I wanted to do is just bring along a few different pictures and show some of the activity, or I guess I call them observations, that are occurring up at the Min Road and the NCAP pavement preservation projects. And I've got a little of the data here if you're really interested in the data, which is kind of why I brought the PDF along to show what we're doing. This is just the single chip seal on a high volume and low volume pavement. The high volume picture there, we've had a little more chip seal damage on that one. Our low volume route, it's got the numbers 1 and 2 on that side, is performing a little better. I think one thing with these, and from an observation standpoint, both of these probably could have used just a little bit more emulsion on the applications. In MnDOT standard is we always fog the chip seals, but one thing we didn't do as part of the project is fog our chip seals. But little beat up with the snowplow damage, but still performing okay. This, I think, is an interesting one. Both of these pictures are on the high volume road. In the single chip seal, which was shot at about 33 hundredths or 34 hundredths of a gallon per square yard when we measured the application rate, and that's the Pavement chip seal next to it that is performing very well, and that was shot at about 39 hundredths of a gallon per square yard. So I think one thing I can see from this observation is that a little more emulsion up there is really helping with the performance. In our breakout session this morning, we talked a little about double chip seals and kind of some of the issues with those. And here's what we see on our high volume route, and you can actually see that's the kind of end of the single chip seal on your left there and the start of the double. Our US Highway 169 there, I think, has about 16,000 ADT. The county road has about 700. The double chip seal starting to bleed a little bit. On the county road, it looks very, very good. So I think we're going to have a real good performing double chip seal on the county road. And as we talk, higher volume, lower volume kind of treatments, I think in the higher volume area, the double, triple chip seal is probably not going to be a choice moving forward. But on a lower volume route, I think that double and triple chip seal will really last a long time. So here is our triple chip seal, and you can see we ran our friction, I think, a couple months ago. The numbers are still decent. I think they were low 40s. I don't remember the exact numbers. The triple chip seal on the county road is just in terrific condition, one of the better looking pavement treatments out there. In that triple chip, we got about almost a gallon per square yard, right about there down, so that those 3 layers of chips and emulsion, that's a surface that I think could wear for a very long time. One of the other observations that I have from this project is that you can see that bad cupped thermal crack on the low volume the transverse thermal crack on the low volume road, and we've got some cupping. So the low volume road had a transverse cup crack that dipped down a little. There were probably 5 to 7 of those in a 500-foot test section, and they kind of negatively impacted the ride. So I think, moving forward, if you're an owner of a low volume road, you definitely want to treat all these transverse cracks prior to putting your surface treatment on. As part of the experiment, we treated one cell, but we weren't treating them all. So the triple's looking great. Might help to smooth out the transverse cracks a little. This is a little tougher to see on these pictures, but we did some different Cape seal type of treatments out there. In the picture on your left with that 7 and 8 number there, that's the end of a fiber mat chip seal and the start of the Cape seal, which is a we did micro on top of a fiber mat there. The Cape seals really have a kind of toughness and tenacity to them, so that the treatments that we put the micro on top of the chip wear a lot better. You can see all the turning damage on the low volume road. There is a county road there that T intersections into that single chip, and turning traffic were really tough on the chip seals, where the Cape seals are really stand up to that moving traffic. Paul Nolan did about 8 years ago, 6 years ago, did some Cape seals on one of our trunk highways in the metro area, and from a toughness and wearing standpoint, the Cape seals are going to be, I think, very good performers, and I think that's what we see here too on the NCAP Min-Road partnership. So for handling transverse cup cracks, we've got the mastic there on the left. Now, mastic is probably the best product that I think's out there for leveling these cracks. It is got a kind of low pen. It's somewhat brittle, and in Minnesota, when those cracks move, you do get the reflective crack coming through there, but it still did help the ride a little. We did work with there's also a picture of thin lay over a fiber mat Cape seal, so we did some of these Texas under seals. In most cases, that might be the one crack that really hasn't completely reflected through when we took that picture. So in the Texas under seal, we did a 3/4 inch mill. We put down the chip seal or fiber mat chip seal, and then we overlaid it with a 3/4 inch thin lay, and all those cracks really are reflecting through. So when you have, once again, the bad cup thermal cracks, probably every 175-foot type spacing, and the pavements really move up in Minnesota, that those thermal cracks tend to reflect through. So those are the observations from, we're starting our third winter. So we're just at the end of the second year. We built those test sections in August of 2016. Any questions? So triple chip seal has different gradations in each lift, and as part of the document here, and I didn't want to just show all the numbers, but so we've got the actual planned emulsion rates, application rates, the actual measured one. The bottom chip was, I think it's like a concrete, in Minnesota speak, it's like a CA 5070, so it's a very big aggregate. The middle one, our typical chip seal is about 100% past the 3/8 inch, and the top of the chip was, more like 1/4 inch size. Typically, so the question, do we run traffic on the chip seal before a micro? And I think we have in the one project Paul built, just the way construction went, they had traffic running on it. So we're pretty much trying to build our standard chip seal first and then cover it with the micro. Time between the layers, we didn't have any waiting kind of time period on that. So the chips were probably down for a couple days before they were covered up by the microsurfacing. Oh, wow, let me try and remember. Triple chip seal, we did these pretty fast. So we might have been building those in just a day. That 500-foot test section. So min-not terms are for this project. So the ADT volumes on this project, our US 169, I think it's around, I'm gonna say 16,000 ADT. It's a route that on the weekends with the traffic going to their cabins it really pops up there. The low volume's about 700. It probably drops off even a couple more down to 400 or 500 toward the end of just that 2-mile stretch. So, we didn't have a thin lay on a Cape. We did a Cape seal. We did a thin lay over a fiber mat chip seal. Yes, so MnDOT is doing friction numbers on all of the sections. 2 or 3 times a day. It's a little difficult to get our data loaded into the database, but I think we've done 2 runs in this year, and we were scheduled to do one in the fall. I haven't heard anything about that. So we're running friction 3 times a year. I think it's just the ribbed tire 40 miles an hour. friction numbers are all pretty good. And even on the double and the chip, on the high volume, that's the double and triple are the ones we're going to have to watch closest. Thank you.
The preceding was produced by the National Center for Pavement Preservation. More information can be found on the web at pavementpreservation.org. Additional support provided by Michigan State University.